All right. So today, I decided that I was going to talk about yoga because I am in the process of talking about different religions. Some of this stuff I've already shared on my social medias. And so today, just a quick little lesson on yoga. So let's see. And I originally did this post on September 2nd, 2018. So this was some time ago. And so I'm talking to the spirits my people conjure up by burning incense, bending, or stretching in a particular way designed by an ancient order of people that worship Satan while saying prayers or chants they know they don't understand. At least that's what goes on in a real yoga class. Keep in mind, I don't know what people doing in these off-brand classes led by Malibu Barbie. But guess what I do understand? Dance and anything surrounding dance. It was my life. I study a variety of different dance forms such as modern, ballet, jazz, contemporary, tap, sucked at it, vogue, and hip hop. But this is another story, hence my book. What do you do before you dance? Stretch. I think I would know a little something about this subject. You do know that some of the very calculated poses in yoga is to mimic snakes, parentheses snake posture. I mean, really, come on. And dragons. Did you know that some of the poses are paying homage to the sun sun salutations and not the son? Namaste is a greeting you do at the end of your worship. At least that's what they told you. How about it actually means the divine in me recognizes the divine in you? Some ish Oprah says, after all, she is the queen of New Age. And don't worry, because if she can't connect with you, her sisters, TD Mistake, Medea, and Leisha Daniels, had Monique Blackballed, are right there with her, ushering in all the lost souls right on into Hades. Namaste is done with a bow, so when you bow and say Namaste, you are bowing or worshiping the God of that religion. I hope people know the Bible preaches against speaking in unknown tongues when there is no interpreter and you don't know what you're saying. Now, I know many won't like this, but the Bible actually says if you don't know what you are saying and there is no interpreter, keep quiet. You can read about it in 1 Corinthians 14, King James Version. Make sure you read it all now. I know people like to skim over things, but you got to read it word for word. Precepts, my brothers and sisters, precepts. Context. When you practice yoga, meditation, sitting like the monks, legs crossed with your fingers making the 666 sign, and Lent, etc., that's worshiping another god. And all these gods of different religions, including white Jesus, Antichrist, are Satan. Like it or not, yoga deals with the occult, and it is a gateway demonic possession, and so are various forms of meditations, which is why they are right next to each other on one of the pictures. I only deal with facts, and yoga being deemed as a religion is a fact, and anything outside the Bible and what Christ taught is satanic. It's only two sides. It's our choice to choose. Now, my intent is not to convert nor change anyone. Only Christ can do that. But my intent is Ezekiel 3:17 through 21, King James Version. And you can read that yourself. Baby, if you want to do yoga till you're blue in the face, firing up them chakras, do you, boo. But that's not what this is about. And I am not attacking anyone personally. How do I know who is doing yoga? Nor do I care, but it is what it is. Yoga is worshiping another god, Hindu or whatever. Hell, look at the pics and see for yourself. So, people can believe what they want to believe, But just because they don't believe what I am saying about yoga being satanic as the fuck does not make the truth null and void. Sadi. So, my brothers and sisters, let's talk about yoga. Now, you can't deny that yoga, not to be confused with Pilates, is a religion. If it's all about the exercise, do Pilates. But yoga is satanic. It has a form of prayer / chants. It has a god. Now, don't act like you don't see the statue with all the arms. I used to whoop niggas with her in Mortal Kombat. Shiva, oops. Guess that's how it ties in with the video games as well. And it even has a international holiday, day of worship. Oh yes, it gets very deep. Did I mention it has its own book, the Hindu scriptures? Y'all sure this is not a religion? Because it's kind of seeming like it is. Yoga has goals and gives principles on how to live. All these things are tied together. It's all New Age spirituality, aka Satanism. Who was the master disciple of that? AC. Aleister Crowley. If you truly believe in Christ, then you know he is the only way. Therefore, all other religions are false, automatically being of Satan. Hey, take it up with Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life. Everything that seems harmless and good might, in fact, be the opposite. What's wrong with good old-fashioned walking? I don't run anywhere. I am not senior. Not talking about my dad because he runs. And lifting weights, like I said, I could care less. But when I speak, even if it's vague, trust I know what I am talking about. Dance is something I have already lived. And this little yoga-ish, I didn't have to go far. The ball is in your court. And if this ain't enough, well, you got a good damn start. Research for your own salvation. Any sources with factual information to refute what I'm saying, which is yoga is satanic based on the invocation of spirits that are deemed by the Bible as demonic fallen angels, and yoga being deemed as an Indian Hindu religion that does not agree with the building that people ignorantly go to weekly on the wrong day. Sunday is the first day, not the last day, which is the Sabbath, Saturday. At that, don't worry, I'll wait, but not too long. I have to help an elderly lady fill out job apps and get her resume together. Man, before you speak, learn. Sirach 18 and 19. What does this picture say? Yoga. Oh, this is the definition of yoga. Yoga, a Hindu spiritual and ascetic discipline, a part of which including breath control, simple meditation, and the adoption of specific bodily posture is widely practiced for health and relaxation. Man, this is so small. Can I make this bigger? Okay. Namaste. Respectful greeting said when giving namaskar. Another term for namaskar. And then you see namas bowing. Te to you. Yeah. Oh, I have it right here. Namaskar. A traditional Indian greeting or gesture of respect made by bringing the palms together before the face or chest and bowing. I'm just going through these pictures, you can see them for yourself. Let me see, remove this. Yoga, Sanskrit pronunciation, is a group of physical, mental, and spiritual practices, discipline, which originated in ancient India. Yoga is one of the 6 orthodox schools of Hindu philosophy. There's a broad variety of yoga schools, practices, and goals in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. Among the most well-known types of yoga are Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. The origins of yoga have been speculated to date back to pre-Vedic Indian traditions. It is mentioned in the Rig Veda, but most likely developed around the 6th and 5th centuries. I mean, well, hey, at least it was here before Islam. In ancient India's ascetic and Shramana movements, the chronology of earliest texts describing yoga practices is unclear, varyingly credited to Upanishads. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali date from the first half of the first millennium CE, but only gained prominence in the West in the 20th century. Hatha Yoga texts emerged around the 11th century with origins in Tantra. Yoga gurus from India later introduced yoga to the West following the success of Swami Vivekananda in the late 19th and early 20th century. In the 1980s, yoga became popular as a system of physical exercise across the Western world. Yoga in Indian traditions, however, is more than physical exercise. It has a meditative, and spiritual core, one of the 6 major orthodox. Let me see. One of the 6 major orthodox schools of Hinduism is called yoga, which has its own epistemology and metaphysics, and is closely related to Hindu Samkhya of philosophy. Many studies have tried to determine the effectiveness of yoga as complementary intervention for cancer, schizophrenia, asthma, and heart disease. The results of these studies have been mixed and inconclusive. On December 1st, 2016, yoga was listed by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. We see below the statue of Shiva in Bangalore, Karnataka, India, performing yogic meditation in Padmasana posture. The Sanskrit noun yoga translates to and is cognate with English yoke. It is derived from the root used to attach, join, harness, yoke. The spiritual sense of the word yoga first arises in epic Sanskrit in the second half of the first millennium BCE and is associated with the philosophical system presented in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, with the chief aim of uniting the human spirit with the divine. The term Kriya Yoga has a grammatical sense, meaning connection with a verb, but the same compound is also given a technical meaning in the Yoga Sutras, designating the practical aspects of the philosophy, i.e. the union with the supreme due to performance of duties in everyday life. And this has just given some rules or some goals. So I have researched yoga. And to be honest, This came from a Facebook post because I was speaking about yoga. I had shared a picture. About something, and one of my family members, I guess, I don't know, they must have took offense to it because they came onto my post. And you know how when you share posts and you get to talking about other stuff, well, we got to talking about yoga. And so this was some of the research that I had already did back in 2018, before this yoga craze and all of this. I mean, do what you want, but I'm not into yoga. No, thank you. Even got Cedra. They even got Cedra Borgia. The yoga of Jesus. But that's not Jesus. That's Cedra Borgia. Sixth Pope of Rome, son. Rodrigo Borgia. This dude, Cedra was a something else. Had sex with his own sister. And he was into the booty. He liked men too. That's the symbol of sorcery, pharmakia. You know, wherever that's involved. You know, some sorcery going on. And look at that. The fact that I know somebody that looks like that is even more wild. Look at that. This was the picture that I shared. So this was the picture that I shared, and then somebody took offense to it. And I think we was talking about yoga and Freemasonry. And, you know, people do spiritual work. I totally understand that, like, you know, but how I look at it as, like, going back to this picture, like what Paul said, all things are lawful, but all things are not lawful for, you know, or all things might edify, but all things, you know, shouldn't be edified by me. You know, that don't mean that because, yeah, it might be, you know, there. That don't mean that I should partake in it. Or that don't mean that I was, you know, called to do that. Some people are called to do, you know, tarot cards and, you know, astrology and stuff like that. That's how some of our ancestors got to this very land, using the stars and stuff like that. So, but what you see today is a lot of people, they are jumping into stuff, even Christianity, even becoming pastors and stuff like that. They jumping into this stuff solely just to make money off of it. You know, they don't care about the history. They don't care about different gods. I know, right? People like, stop pacing. "666 sign." And I do understand that, you know, like in spirituality, like, you know, it does mean a different thing. Like, I accept that, you know, it could be like, you know, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and, you know, I forget what the last one is. But what people in spirituality need to understand is that, yes, it might mean that, you know, for that sect, but these people in Hollywood, they throwing it up for a different reason. They not throwing it up for what you believe in. They throwing it up for the Baphomet. because that's who they are aligned with. We all could definitely use a little mercy and grace. And so this is my thing about yoga. Pause here. All right, this was another post that I did share. And it was about yoga. And I said pretty much here, because I know when people try to deflect, they'll say stuff like, oh, Wikipedia ain't real. Well, the encyclopedia is very real. And it says the same thing about yoga. The videos I share backs the information I presented about yoga. And then what's below, I'm not going to read that because I already read it. It's just... I already shared these pictures. See, it's tied with Hinduism, Buddhism, and, you know, so some people, they try to make it seem like, you know, it's not a religion, and it is. You know, you might not, that might not be your religion, and you might not do it for religious purposes, but when you are participating in this. So like I said, yoga is a religious practice by definition alone. Any religious practice outside of what the Bible teaches is automatically the other master. And then I already shared this. But this is pretty much the proof that I had shared this even 4 years ago. You can see me talk about this in my farewell letter to being a fag, F-A-G, family and gullible. At the end of this, I talk about this and I kind of explain it. Show you these pictures here. So yeah, I've been on this, man.